Good evening, y'all. Making this video basically just to revisit The Witcher 3 and let
What?
everyone
Lost your
know
nerve?
why it's one of my favorite games of all time, and also December 20th. Very Henry Cavill can bring to the series. Oh, not a good way to start the video or show off why I love this game. It's a little different, I find, playing games and trying to talk at the same time. Not saying that I lose my focus, but I definitely find it a little more of a challenge. But yeah, basically just revisiting The Witcher 3. I finished my Death Stranding playthrough and to give you guys a video and also to pass the time until I can get a new game and to play for y'all. Want to revisit The Witcher. I think the next game I'm gonna get and do a playthrough of is Star Wars Fallen Jedi. If I can find a good enough deal, either Boxing Day or Black Friday, which is coming up right away here. Probably snag it for y'all and you'll have a playthrough that I can bring you. But one of the reasons I love the Witcher series, not just this game, but this series so much,
Time to end this.
the combat is like unlike any other game that I've ever played. It's so smooth and so different. Let's take out this guy. And boom. Let him do his thing, and then I'll do my little trick where I meditate here. Yeah, with The Witcher is, well, 1, 2, it's such a clean-cut narrative, and with all the side quests, it doesn't make the game feel sparse in any way. It just makes it so much more enjoyable, and I love games where
Definitely came through
basically
here.
where you can get sidetracked pretty easily and get lost in the world and all the amazing quests that it has to offer, where some of the side quests, and especially the DLC in this game, really feels like it's a full game on its own. CD Projekt Red put a lot of work into this, and I'm really, really excited for one to see. To pass. But basically to see, for one, how they incorporate, if they're at all going to incorporate the style into Cyberpunk 2077. You can kind of see a little bit of that in the customization with it, and also too, the main story seems like you're going to be able to get lost pretty easily in the world that they've created with Cyberpunk 2. But yeah, definitely one of the things I'm really looking forward to is how, with the Netflix series, Henry Cavill seems to be a huge fan of the games, and that's always a good sign when an actor like that comes into the role of a beloved character, and especially one that's beloved to them. I know a lot of people are worried about it, which, I mean, when you have source material, a lot of people get worried if it's going to live up to the hype, the expectations, what the game set out to be. But I find one reason why I think The Mandalorian has been so successful is that it plays out like a video game, where it's basically, you have the character's XP grind, a little bit of the main story mission, they're upgrading their stuff as the show goes on. You also get a lot of narrative about why they're there, and you get to, I find The Mandalorian and Geralt are in a sense where they're not really heroes, they're both bounty hunters in a sense, and they're there for the job, but something overcomes them where they have to become more than just their job. And in Geralt's case, if you play the games, you know that that reason is Ciri, that reason could be Triss, it could be Yennefer. There's a lot of potential in the story that they could do that for. But I hope it kind of, you get the XP grind, maybe even too, you get some kind of Supernatural did a really good job where there's different contracts every other episode, and I feel like we will get to see a decent amount of that in the Witcher series, which would be nice. I'm certain we're gonna get lots of monsters and lots of monster brawls in the first season. Probably even more as the series goes on. But one good news is Netflix has already renewed. Get out of here, buddy. Netflix has already renewed the series for a second season. Always like to hear that, where the studio really has faith in their series.
Thanks, White One. If not for you, that might have taken me much longer. The bitches nearly ripped his innards out. All right. You might not have heard. I'm Hjalmar on Crete.
Geralt of Rivia.
The Geralt?
Looks...
Right. So?
Your crew. What happened to them?
I know a lot of people too are really worried about Henry Cavill and his voice of Geralt, but he has his own little baritone tone that he's going to bring to the role. I have no concerns about Henry Cavill being able to play the role. The one thing that I'm really interested to see is they look great from what they've shown so far, the little that they showed, but all the special effects and the CGI they got to do for...
We should see to your...
Right.
No.
What?
That they've brought into...
Let's go.
Oh, that's no train of thought. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see all the creatures and monsters that they bring into the series. It's going to be really interesting to watch and see what creatures they bring in, and also too, I really enjoy how they're showing all the potions and enhancements that Geralt's going to take on some of these monsters. I'm not shying away from any of the lore of the series, which is definitely going to please a lot of the video game fans. It does really look like they have a great cast of, I want to say, fans of the games, and I know of the books too, making this series. I haven't personally read the books. I really want to pick them up and read them for myself, because I know they're pretty, I don't want to say pretty different, but that's kind of what I've heard from a lot of people who've read the books and played the games, is the story has similar elements, but of course it changes a lot because you need some player choice. You change the narrative a little bit, but I've heard a lot of people say that, like, it's
getting colder.
The Witcher was big influences for kind of series like Game of Thrones to really pick up, where there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of lore. It's just, it kind of brings human elements into the fantasy realm.
Quick, let me out before he waits.
Especially this is one of my favorites.
Wait, best he stay in the... What?
One of my favorite parts of this game. I remember having a really tough time.
Giant's pretty big, looks pretty mean. We can use...
Even one I heard that on...
Wait here.
Yeah, I remember this, not reading the little thing the first time and walking right on the crunching snow.
No closer, he's mine!
Waking the giant right away the first time I played this game definitely made the fight a lot tougher.
Hey, let me out, quick! Thanks, brother.
I remember that.
Oof. I can't wait to see big fights like this, and I hope too that they don't make it more like a fantasy. Like they don't make Geralt kind of like the Legolas type of character, where you can pull off insane acrobatic moves. Of course, you're going to see some Geralt's got moves, but nothing like what Legolas was. I hope they don't kind of go into the special effects realm like that. Looks like I got him. Yeah, the show's definitely going to be bloody, definitely going to be gory. Especially when Yennefer starts to realize the true potential of the powers too.
You daft bastard. Thanks for your help, White Wolf.
Hjalmar the Giant Slayer sounds but
Let's get out of here.
let's go.
Yeah, I really like to look at games like The Witcher where
After all,
player choice affects the
who else has put
story.
forth?
And
Sarah?
Also too, like player choice in the sense
surprised
that
everyone.
And
like it's
Did he
not just
support
a
her?
couple main choices that'll
Let her
affect the
set off
story
with
of your
wasn't
game, where
Norton.
your gear could affect it. Like the
She
tiniest
sailed
little
out to speak
things you
rogue.
could say affect the
Alone.
story. I found
Alone?
Until Dawn
What on earth
was a
was she
really
thinking?
good example
Set out to
like
help
that,
Udwig.
where just that like the tiniest little things you say could offset your relationship.
Yeah,
good. I hope we...
fair.
That's what I like to see from video games. I do like my more linear stories every now and then. Like, I think a great example of that would be God of War, where you just sit back for a ride instead of kind of shaping the ride a little bit yourself. Use a signpost to fast travel here. I like to, one of the things, I didn't like it at first, but when I got a little more used to it, I kind of fell in love with the concept of it. But how in The Witcher, when it comes to fast travel, you got to go from signpost to signpost for your fast travel. I found it was kind of, that was your reward for exploring the world like they wanted you to do in the game. And that was something that I really, really enjoyed. I started to enjoy a little more. I don't want to say grinding, but you work for the rewards that you get. I like when games challenge you in ways like that.
If a weak arm's swinging it, eh?
There's a lot of customization too,
Barrel
which I
hoops the
like to
blades,
see.
but I'm guessing you're more interested in blades.
Show me.
The dialogue in this game is really, really good too. Too, because they know it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I've definitely played more than my fair share of it. But like I want to say, I pumped easily over. Well, my first playthrough, I definitely. Ooh, don't mind if I do. Silver sword. These are all silvers, right? Yeah. Steel swords. plus 17, plus 17, plus 17. 6% critical. That's actually a really good stat there. Definitely go with this one. See if he has any armor. Should probably take. I'll buy everything from him and then I can sell him all of these swords that I do not need anymore.
So long.
Of course,
Fair
too,
winds and
even
following
now, the graphics in this game are really beautiful, and there's so much to that. Like, of course, this game isn't limitless. I could climb that mountain if I wanted to, but the game does have its limits. Most of the land that you see, though, you can traverse up, which I love to see in games. Skyrim did a pretty good job in that. I think this is definitely
What is it you wish?
one of the best examples of, like, you can go anywhere. Death Stranding was really good for that too, actually, now that I think about it. Death Stranding was a really good example of that. Roach. I'm really excited to see Roach in the series too. Roach is definitely one of my favorite horses of all time in all media. The horse from the Metal Gear games is up there too. Yeah, like I said, I think it follows kind of like a similar format that The Mandalorian did, where you have your characters' XP grinds to show how much of a badass they are, how kind of scary the world can be. It'd be a really good fit for the show. Because one thing too that I've kind of enjoyed about The Mandalorian a little, that when it comes to showing The Mandalorian, is it shows that, like, he is a badass, but the world that he's in is so dangerous, so deadly, that he needs help to get out of the situations. Where the 3 episodes that we've seen, the only reasons he's gotten out of kind of like the final battle has been because of help he's received somehow, some way, where he wouldn't have made it out of the situation alive if it wasn't for that. Since I know, of course, not every fight Geralt's going to come up against is going to be like that, but there's going to be big challenges when it comes to, well, like I said, when it comes to dealing with the Nilfgaard storyline and political battles, and even too some like big monsters. We're gonna see some more Witchers, I would assume. We're gonna see Triss come in. We're gonna see Yennefer. There's, ooh, I hated these big spiders the first time I played this game. As most of my friends know, I am probably the most arachnophobic person that you will ever meet. So big spiders in games, definitely not for me. I remember the first time I played Skyrim, seeing the big spider drop down in the first cave. Definitely.
Yes?
It wasn't a good time for me.
Can hear you two clear on the other side of the island.
Especially playing it at 1 at night and in the basement that was known to have spiders crawling around every now and then. Definitely itchy the entire night after that.
And fully intend to return it.
Ha! Not to mention the...
Barry, what are you talking about?
She's not told you? I met... Only... When...
So,
It's gonna be really
no
cool
one's
to
ever
see
used the mask?
if they
No,
do make
but-
more Witcher
So
games.
you
I know
don't actually know if it works,
CD Projekt
how it
Red,
works.
Of
like
course
I can't
The myths
give
tell
enough
me.
praise to these guys,
the
but
myths.
they've talked
Only
about
ignorant
how
fools
they've been
belittle
working on
their
more Witcher
significance.
games, and I don't know if that's
Besides,
just
it's not the myths
more
that are
Gwent,
trial
or
here.
kind of like what they did with Final Fantasy, where they put Geralt into other games, if that's what they've meant by it.
I'm not about to justify what Yennefer
But
did.
more Witcher
I
games would be
don't
pretty cool. I think
try
if
to
they do
understand her.
anything, I don't know
She's
if they
not
can do
doing
any
this to anger you.
prequels.
She's doing it for Ciri.
If they
I
would
know
do
there
any
are
prequels,
maternal
I think it would just be
feelings,
more of what we
but
already
this is no
know.
excuse,
But it would be a lot
no
of
justification.
there's a lot that they can do with
Mask of
Ciri's
Uber,
character,
Jennifer, you-
like not just story-wise, but gameplay-wise. There's a lot of really cool features that they put into this game. That the technology that the new generation consoles, with the new generation consoles that are coming out, that they could weave into the gameplay. So I feel like if there is anything, it's gonna have to deal a lot with Ciri's character, and well, we'll probably get the chance to play as Geralt once again, which would be absolutely amazing. It'd be really cool too if we could play as Witchers from
Great.
the other schools. Instead of the wolf, we could play as the cat, or like I said, any of the other schools of Witcher.
What was that?
Maybe even a game
Unicorns.
about the school
Damn
itself.
it, Yenna. I saw the foglets. I meant how'd they get here.
The power of the mask summoned them.
It's something I hope they go into the show too. Like we don't just
Hermione
learn
says the
about
mask might cause
the
a
School
natural
of the Wolf,
disaster.
and or
Fortunate
maybe
he's
not
here
even just
then.
the School of the Wolf,
He
but
can jump
Geralt's
right in,
experience
try to
becoming a
tame
Witcher.
it.
I hope they go into all the
Realize he
schools, and
won't
we
let
get to
this
see more
pass.
Witches in the series.
Oh, I'll survive.
I don't know if we'll
somehow.
see that right away, or if that'll be more like a
What
season
now?
The mask reveals
3
the
thing where
past,
they can
but
bring
only
in the
certain
Slayer of
places.
Kings
Places where
storyline.
past events left a strong magical imprint. Take it.
But there's so much
Wear it?
potential
Yes.
with the
I'll
show.
cast a spell that will let me see through your eyes.
But yeah, I think that's about all that I can say about the game and the show, but I have so much faith in it. But December 20th is when it comes out. I don't know if I'll get the chance to watch it right then and there because Star Wars comes out the same day. So I'll definitely, when that comes out, I'll go see Star Wars, do my review for you guys, and then I'll probably, or maybe I can bang out an episode or two of the show, and then I can bring you almost back-to-back reviews of what I thought about The Witcher, and then what I thought about Star Wars, or maybe as a review point, it might be better to go see the movie, do my review, and then the next day start watching The Witcher. But you'll start to see content on it as soon as I can get it to you guys. But I think that concludes this episode, and I can't wait to play more games with you, review more movies for you, and just grow the YouTube a little bit. Awesome. Have a good one, guys.